a poet, and more, who walked fearlessly during a time of turmoil in America, was summoned by a Quaker compassion within to secure the natural rights of mankind without distinction. John Greenleaf Whittier, editor, politician, abolitionist, poet. His home, with its treasured associations of emotional warmth, family love, psychological comfort, complete trust, and personal security, was a solid foundation for Whittier's life.
And while, with care, our mother laid the work aside, her steps she stayed one moment, seeking to express her grateful sense of happiness for food and shelter, warmth and health, and love's contentment more than wealth. With simple wishes, not the weak, vain prayers which no fulfillment seek, but such as warm the generous heart, or prompt to do with heaven its part, that none might lack that bitter night for bread and clothing, warmth and light.
From 1840 on, Whittier drew what he believed were safe boundaries around his life, avoiding situations and emotions which would bring on episodes of excruciating pain. When his doctor advised him to avoid travel, he turned to the safety of his Amesbury home, giving up a measure of freedom for a measure of health and the security to write. Amesbury was experiencing the beginnings of the Industrial Revolution, and mills were being built for manufacturing. The street in front of the Whittier house, Friend Street, was one of the main thoroughfares for commerce. While the farm was isolated, now there was plenty of activity for the Whittier family. Between periods of ill health, Whittier was a great worker. From his cottage in Amesbury, he edited 2 Massachusetts newspapers, and as corresponding editor, contributed 275 articles and 109 original poems to the Abolitionist National Era. He went on with his political work, helping to elect liberal candidates to the U.S. Senate, and opposing in print every government action which might promote slavery. James Fields recognized that Whittier was a tremendous worker, whose poetry might have a large public appeal. Fields skillfully began to manage Whittier's career. In 1857, Fields obtained all the copyrights of Whittier's previously published poems. By the 1860s, Whittier was selling poems to the Atlantic Monthly. Whittier's relationship with his sister Elizabeth is vital to him. She was an independent-minded, talented and published writer and a member of the Anti-Slavery Society. As soulmate for Whittier, her death in 1864 affected him greatly, leaving him alone and lonely in his Amesbury home. These elements and events were the catalysts for the poem Snowbound. In 1866, Snowbound was published, making Whittier famous and earning him $10,000, the most money he ever made on a book. With the success of Snowbound in 1867, Whittier attains for the first time applause for his work. He becomes a household name and a national hero. Written after the end of the Civil War, Snowbound happened to be the perfect medicine for an exhausted nation. It is a poem about memory.
Shut in from all the world without, we sat the clean-winged hearth about, content to let the north wind roar in baffled rage at pane and door, while the red logs before us beat the frost line back with tropic heat, and ever when a louder blast shook beam and rafter as it passed, the merrier up its roaring draught the great throat of the chimney laughed. The house dog, on his paws outspread, laid to the fire his drowsy head. The cat's dark silhouette on the wall, a couchant tiger's, seemed to fall. And for the winter fireside meat, between the andirons' straddling feet, the mug of cider simmered slow. The apples sputtered in a row, and close at hand the basket stood with nuts from brown October's wood.